All right, let's talk about one of the most critical, yet so often overlooked parts of building a great company, onboarding. And no, I don't just mean a welcome packet and a quick office tour. We're talking about building a process that can actually scale with you as your company grows. Seriously, just take a second and think about that. When a new person joins your team, what is that experience really like for them? Because, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. And for new employees, those first few days and weeks, well, they're everything. And here's where things get a little scary. 12%, that's it. According to Gallup, only 12% of US employees strongly agree that their company does a great job of onboarding. That means a whopping 88% of companies are dropping the ball, giving a mediocre or even a flat-out bad first impression. Look, this isn't just some small missed opportunity. It's a full-blown onboarding crisis. And it's costing companies a fortune in lost talent, lower morale, and just wasted productivity. But here's the good news. There is a solution. And in this explainer, we're going to break down exactly how you can build a scalable onboarding program that puts you right in that top 12%. So why is a scalable program the answer here? Well, it's pretty simple. When you're hiring a lot of people, that casual, figure it out as we go approach, it just completely falls apart. A scalable process makes sure every single new hire gets a consistent, high-quality experience, whether you're bringing on 5 people this month or 50. And let's get right to the bottom line impact, okay? The data is crystal clear on this one. A strong onboarding process can boost new hire retention by a massive 82%. Just think about that for a second. This is not just about making people feel welcome. It's about convincing them from day one that they should build their career with you. But keeping people around, that's only half the story. It's also about getting them up to speed and contributing fast. Turns out, companies with great onboarding see new hire productivity jump by over 70%. That means your new team members start delivering real, tangible value much, much sooner. And this isn't just theory. Let's look at a real-world example. Accenture completely revamped its onboarding program. And get this. They cut the time it took for new hires to become fully productive from 4 months all the way down to just 2.5. Can you imagine that kind of competitive advantage scaled across thousands of employees? Wow. Okay, so how do you actually build something like that? It all starts with a solid design. I mean, you wouldn't build a house without a blueprint, right? The exact same thing goes for your onboarding program. You need a plan. A truly scalable design follows a really logical path. First, you start with the destination. What does success actually look like? Define those goals. Then, you assign roles, because let's be honest, onboarding is a team sport. It's not just HR. It's managers, it's peers. From there, you build a consistent timeline for everyone. And finally, you make sure you have the right tools and resources to make it all happen. Now that third step, the timeline, that's where one of the most powerful tools in the entire game comes in, the 30, 60, 90-day plan. This is so much more than a schedule. Think of it as a strategic map for a new hire's first 3 months. It makes sure they learn, contribute, and really integrate into the company in a structured, thoughtful way. And here's a quick look at what that might look like in practice. You see, the first 30 days are all about learning the ropes. By day 60, they're starting to contribute on their own projects. And by the 90-day mark, they're really starting to take ownership. This structure provides so much clarity for everyone involved, and it's super easy to replicate at scale. Of course, as you start to scale up, the big temptation is to just automate everything. But that brings us to maybe the most delicate part of this whole process, finding that perfect balance between technology and the good old-fashioned human touch. The secret here isn't to choose one over the other. It's to use each for what it does best. You want to automate all that repetitive, administrative stuff, the digital checklists, the IT setup, the online compliance training. Why? Because that frees up your team's precious time to focus on what actually matters: mentorship, real conversations, and building genuine human connections. And it all comes down to this one simple truth. No amount of automation can replace a manager who cares and coaches. Technology is an incredible enabler for sure, but that manager's role in guiding a new hire, that's just irreplaceable. Okay, so you've designed your awesome program. You've balanced your tech and your touch. But how do you know if it's actually working? That's where measurement comes in. You have to be able to prove the value of this investment. To do that, you need to track the right key performance indicators, or KPIs. Really, it comes down to the big 3: First, new hire retention rate. Are people actually staying? Second, time to full productivity. How fast are they really getting up to speed? And finally, new hire satisfaction scores. Do they feel supported? Do they feel engaged? This, right here, is how you make the business case to leadership. You connect those KPIs directly to business outcomes. Lower turnover, that means huge cost savings on recruiting. Faster productivity, that means more revenue, sooner. Suddenly, onboarding isn't a nice to have anymore. It's a clear driver of business performance. Which really brings us to our final and most critical point. Onboarding is not just some administrative task for the HR department to check off a list. It is a strategic, company-wide investment in your single greatest asset, your people. It's literally the foundation that all your future growth is built on. So I'll leave you with this one question to think about. As your company keeps growing and changing, is its foundation, the way you welcome and integrate new talent, is it strong enough to support that future? Is your company's foundation truly built to last?